Creativity chat. Creativity chat. Hey all, welcome to today's creativity chat. Today we're going to talk about confusion. Now, I don't know if you've ever really sat down and thought about it, but confusion is a huge part of the process of learning and of creativity. In fact, we never learn anything new without going through a stage of confusion. And confusion is also not a particularly comfortable feeling. If you are confused, that means you are uncomfortable. It means you can't quite wrap your mind around what's going on or what the situation is or what the task is. If your ego is running the show at the time, you can start to have issues of like, what's wrong with me? I don't get this thing, or like, why doesn't this make sense to me? So confusion can bring all sorts of negative emotions with it. It is not an inherently enjoyable feeling. However, it is a necessary feeling if we are to learn new things or create new things. So the inspiration for this video also came from the documentary The Creative Brain, which is currently on Netflix. The last creativity chat video was also inspired by that documentary. I will pop that down below for you and maybe pop it up on the screen if I learn how to do that. And in this documentary, neuroscientist David Eagleman goes around and he talks to all sorts of creatives or people that use creativity to help them succeed in their life, in their careers, and he kind of examines it from many different angles. And one person he talks to is Nathan Myhrvold. Nathan Myhrvold is kind of a jack of all trades. He kind of has dipped his toe in a lot of ponds. He's a physicist, an inventor, he studies dinosaurs, he's written cookbooks. Bill Gates once referred to him as the smartest person he knew. So he kind of spoke to this idea of what it means to constantly be challenging yourself, or what it means to constantly be learning new things and jumping into like spaces and arenas that you've never been in before. And I have this quote by him that I want to talk about. He says, "Part of that learning is you have to be confused. So I'm very often frustrated and confused and think of myself as being really stupid because I'm not getting it. To be creative, to think outside the proverbial box, you have to be willing to be wrong. You also have to be willing to be right and yet have everyone think you're wrong." So I love this quote for a number of reasons, because I think it really touches on a lot of what's uncomfortable about the learning process and the creative process. And it touches on key ideas that we need to remember when we think about creativity. For one, he's talking about vulnerability here. He's talking about feeling stupid, feeling frustrated, and just not comfortable feelings, right? Not the feelings that we're often seeking. And that puts you in a really vulnerable space when you feel like you don't know the information, or you don't know how to do the task at hand, or you feel like the people around you are smarter than you are, or like that is feeling vulnerable. But you kind of have to put yourself in those spaces if you're going to learn and grow and become more creative. I also think that this quote really touches on the idea of courage and creativity. I love the ending of the quote where he talks about how you have to be willing to be wrong, which is something that we all can learn from. I definitely could be a lot more comfortable with being wrong. We all need to be comfortable with failing, with being wrong when taking creative risks. But what I really enjoy about this quote is he brings up how you have to be willing to, you have to be willing to be right and have everyone think you're wrong. And that, I think, is incredibly powerful, because he's talking about trusting your instincts. He's talking about recognizing that it is entirely possible that your creativity is going to result in something that other people don't understand. And that doesn't make it bad or wrong. In fact, a lot of times if other people don't understand it, that's a good sign. This idea of kind of juggling the two, like failing, being okay with being wrong, and then also being okay with like owning your own ideas and owning your creativity, and like it's okay if not everyone gets it. I think those are both equally valuable. The same way you feel super confused when you don't understand something, if you come up with a truly out there creative idea, there's a good chance it's going to make someone else confused and uncomfortable. So I think in thinking about this connection between creativity and confusion, there's a few different things we can do here. One, we can learn to lean into confusion. And I mean this in a variety of different ways. If we are in the trenches of a creative process and we hit one of those points of just frustration and confusion and it's not working the way you want it to, learning to recognize that means you're on the right path. And yeah, maybe you do need to take a break or whatever, but you are in the middle of the process. You are in the thick of the process if you are feeling that confusion, and that you don't need to run away from it. It's not scary. You're not gonna die. Like, it's fine. Taking a deep breath and reminding yourself that confusion is good. It's part of the process. I also think that recognizing confusion as part of the process of learning something new can be really valuable with how we are with others and the ideas of others and the creations of others. I think it can be a really good practice to, every time someone maybe says something that you find confusing or uncomfortable, or if someone, explains something to you and you don't get it, it's just really confusing, or someone's approach to solving a problem doesn't make any sense to you because it's just completely different from how you would do it. I think those are great opportunities to stop and say, okay, this isn't the way I would do it, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just uncomfortable to me because my brain is like, no, this is not the way we know how to do things. And if I can lean into that confusion, maybe I will learn something from the way this person does this or the way this person sees this issue that will help my creativity later on. When it comes to creativity, confusion is part of the process and we have to embrace it. I also think confusion can be a great sign that something is creative. If something confuses you, if something's weird, it is a sign that there's something different and novel going on here. Which kind of leads me in to tomorrow's creativity chat, where we're going to talk about creativity and being quote unquote weird. Let me know if you have any thoughts on confusion as part of the creative process. Also we have new Art History Babe stickers. I'm gonna go grab them. All right, new stickers up in the Art History Babes store. You learned something, bitches. And then we have the two buns in some fun, springy summer colors. You can get one of them for $5 or all three of them for $10 at arthistorybabes.com. Go grab some, help support the Art History Babes. Also, make sure to check out our Patreon if you haven't. We do monthly bonus episodes for as low as $1 a month. Just recorded a bonus episode on Hilma F. Klint, who, if you didn't know, was a painter in the 19th century that talked to ghosts. So we're doing a bonus kind of like update on Hilma F. Klint for this month's Patreon extra. I'm also going to be revamping our Patreon soon, and there's going to be a level that's going to include bonus videos. Not quite sure I'm going to do that yet, but that's going to be something. So definitely go check out the Patreon if you like what we're doing, if you enjoy these videos, if you enjoy the podcast, if you enjoy our vlogs. Consider becoming a patron. We will love you forever and ever and ever. All right, that's all I've got for today. Bye.